All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Listen, I'm giving one to you. Go check out her content. Listen, it says, busted, what causes high sex drive in women? Now, let me say this. I've watched a couple of her videos. This is what I love about this woman here, is because when women, there are only a few women that you meet in your life who most of the times they're older. Like about 7 of the times out of the 10 times I've met these types of people, they've been older women, right? And it's because they're at the tail end of their life. They realize the power of their femininity and like, you know what, let me give back to men and yada yada. And so I love listening to people like this because they tell the truth. And it's not like a sugar-coated truth. It's the type of truth that you needed to hear as a man, as a boy. You understand? That way you understand what you're getting into. Because what she's going to do, and I'm going to let her do it, she's going to slice through all the BS that society and women tell you, oh, it's because of this, oh, it's because of that. And they're valid reasons in society, but deep down, they know it's a lie, and some of us know it's a lie. This type of creator right here, she gives you the real. And so I'm excited about this video. I haven't watched it. We're going to watch it together. Let's see what she's got to say.
Story that we want sex. Ladies, we have to get out of our story that we want sex. We want more sex, that we have the higher sex drive. Our husbands don't have a higher sex drive, and we're deprived of sex in our marriages. There are no women married to good men who, after getting married, want to have sex, key piece here, for themselves. There is always a hidden agenda. In the beginning of my relationship with Adam, that's my husband, before we were married, because before we get married as women, we enjoy sex, and then we put our walls up because we got what we wanted and we push sex away. You can go watch my video on the switch.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Oh my gosh, straight bangers already.
I forget the title of it, but if you look through the thumbnails in my videos, you'll see we have a switch in the video.
And I'm going to let her keep talking, but that's the thing a lot of people don't talk about, especially women. A lot of women do not talk about these things that are real, but they're just not talked about. You know what I'm saying? They're not out in the light. And she's just like, this is what happens. We like this, and then a switch happens. We understand there's a switch, but nobody ever talks about that. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep going.
Video, we have a switch. You can learn more about that, or why men need sex. I touch on that there as well. But in the beginning of my relationship with Adam, we had sex frequently. I enjoyed sex, but I also used sex as a control mechanism to where I wanted sex more. And my husband has a high sex drive, and I wanted sex more. And I was wanting to have, not to be too TMI, but I was wanting to have sex like twice a day. But it wasn't for me. It was a control tactic to have a leash on him. And it came from a paranoia in myself of, I was scared he'd be attracted to another woman, or he wouldn't want to stay with me, or God forbid he masturbate. And it was a control mechanism. That was my hidden agenda. And for the majority of women who say they have a higher sex drive, the hidden agenda is something linked to control and a control tactic. I want to give an example of one of my students who came through the men's course, and this I've heard this a number of times, where there is often a point as good men go through my men's course that they'll share like, my wife is sensing something is afoot. Like, she's acting very strange, because what happens for good men through the course is they regain their strength, they regain their confidence, and they begin to stand up for themselves in the face of the emasculation, or they begin.
And listen, I completely get where a lot of married men are coming from. There's one thing that I decided a long time ago, is that if I ever decide to get married, yes, I know I'm crazy. I still want to get married. Not in the States, of course. I'm not that crazy. But if I ever decide to get married, sex will never be used as a weapon, ever be used as a weapon or manipulated in that type of manner. I would dump her. I don't care if it was the week after we got married. If there's like a half thing that goes on or whatever, you can have it. I refuse. I refuse. Because I've seen too many men in these marriages. I've seen married men. I've had on the phone with married men. And they're talking about, yo, it's been 6 months. 6 months? What are you talking about? And I'm like, has it been 6 months or 6 months since you last paid the bills? No. Has it been the last month? What did you put down for 6 months that was a requirement for her? Nothing. Right. I can't do it. There's no way on God's green earth that I would ever allow a woman to control me with sex. It's either she's gonna do her job or she's out of here. Period. And I don't really care how anybody feels about that. That's just how I rock. Because if I can't put something down for 6 months, you can't put something down for 6 months. That's not how this works. And so I want to make sure I have this conversation. If I ever decide to get married to somebody, I will be sitting them down and having this conversation. And I'm blunt with it. I'm like, listen, sex will not be used as a weapon to control me. And if I sense that, we're going to have a conversation about it. And if it continues, I will break this marriage off 100%. I don't care how deep we're in it. Well, I'll break it off because I would rather deal with the consequences of breaking it off than dealing with the woman who feels like she can just control me with, get the fuck out of here, man. So what do you guys think? Let me know.
To be in a responsible, respectful way as a good man, indifferent to their wives' emasculating behaviors, and they're no longer on the hook of the emasculation in their marriage. And this is very concerning to women. It's very concerning because the control has flipped, and all of a sudden we feel our hooks are no longer in our husbands. We feel we don't have the control over them anymore that we once did. And that's very uncomfortable to us because that's the whole point of emasculation, is to weaken a man so that we are the ones in control. We have all the power, and we strip a good man of his own power and break him down. So as he starts to rebuild himself through the course, it is very often that they will share with, my wife is acting very strange. She's concerned. She's asking me weird questions. And one gentleman shared with me that he said, my wife's acting very strange. She knows something, I'm changing and something's different. And she was a woman who had stopped wanting sex and wasn't having sex very often with him. And he said, she's initiating sex with me every day. He said, but she's still not engaged and she's checked out. So, she's not there. I know she's not enjoying it, but she's initiating sex with me every day. And I helped him see that's because she feels her hook's not in you anymore. She's trying to get them back in, and she's scared you might leave and that she no longer.
And how many women do you know have conversations like this, talk about this? Listen, I'm putting you guys on, man. At least hit the like button. Do that. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you haven't. I got a lot of these, right? I can put you guys on to, but this is important because you realize that a lot of women will use sex as a weapon. That's like a duh for a lot of us, but it's like there's a lot of guys who have no idea that you think it's like, oh, she's like super into you and she's like all this, but there's a subconscious and an unconscious thing at work, and you have to be aware of that as a man. That way, if it starts to flip where it's like, oh, you don't want to do this, we're not gonna. You know what I'm saying? I want to point that out and have that conversation because it will not be used. And I want to let that be known straight up. You know what I mean?
Longer has the control, and you might be strong enough in yourself. If you don't want to stay in the relationship, she's feeling you might leave. So she's trying to get her hooks in you and get you to stay by having sex with you every day.
And I think my whole spiel earlier about, if it's going to hit that point, we're going to have a conversation like adults. But if it continues, I'm going to leave. Because I think most guys, as men, what we think is like, if we put the ring on the finger, we commit to marriage under God, we're in this for life. That's our mentality. It's like we made a pact, we made a commitment, we made a covenant. And it's like, we're in it. You know what I'm saying? Till death do us part, literally. However, your counterpart does not have that same belief. Okay. And so a lot of them bank on the fact that you won't leave. But I need my significant other to know, my future wife to know, I will drop of a hat, drop of a pen, drop of a penny. But let me tell you, again, I'm going to go through the proper channels. I'm not like, oh, mistake, I'm out. No, I want to have a conversation. I want to let you know, like, I know, and this better correct because I will leave. I value my self-respect more. You understand? Than box. or staying committed to somebody who doesn't respect me enough to do their side of the relationship.
This is an example of we weaponize sex. We weaponize sex as women by either withholding and depriving.
And if I was being petty, let's be real. If I was being petty, and I'm not being petty, I wouldn't play this game. But if I was playing this game, like it's like, oh, we're stopping. Okay, guess what? The electricity finna go out. Guess what? The heating gonna turn off. You know what I'm saying? The water's gonna stop. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I had a headache. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? You want to be petty? Let's be petty. But again, that's childish. It's petty. I'm not doing that. I'd rather have a conversation and leave. But if I was playing that game, if I was playing the same game that they want to play, yeah, you want to stop? Let's stop. Let's see what happens. Let's stop.
Being a good man of sex, or by having a higher sex drive and constantly wanting sex from them. And it's all a tactic of control. There is always a hidden agenda, and it is almost always linked to some control tactic to keep our husbands on a leash and to own them. That's why as women, we have to get out of our stories that we have the higher sex drive. And this, again, my message are for women married to good men and for good men married to women who have the common, normal, everyday issues behind closed doors that you would expect your neighbors to have. That's the context we're talking about this in. That, ladies, we have to get out of our stories. We have the higher sex drive and we want more sex. No, it is a control tactic. We're not wanting to have a lot of sex for ourselves purely because we enjoy it. We have a hidden agenda. So if you are one of these women, you want to get honest with yourself, not making yourself bad and wrong, but get honest with yourself, because you have to see yourself as the problem. You are the only solution. That's empowering. That allows you to live in camp, take responsibility, and get out of camp victim, blaming your husband. You want to look in the mirror in a constructive, reflective way of what's my hidden agenda.
And that's so powerful, because a lot of women are not self-aware. They're not self-aware to the tactics that they do. You get what I'm saying? And so I love listening to people like this, because she's self-aware and she understands what she's doing, or she's been through the inner work to understand the reasonings behind her actions.
What's my hidden agenda? That I want to have sex more than my husband, or I'm constantly at him for sex and making him wrong, that he doesn't want sex as much as me, or that he's stopped wanting sex. It's probably in a spectrum. Hello again. Thank you so much for taking the time.
So yeah, that's gonna end her video. But I just want to say again, it's like this works on guys who, again, it's like they never had good sex with somebody, or they haven't had sex consistently. And so they think that this girl who's willing to give it to her all the time, it hooks them. And then if she starts to take it away, they're like, oh my God, because they think about the life that they used to have, to where they're not getting anything. You understand? They think she's the only person who's going to ever give that to them. That doesn't work for guys who know how to get laid. You see what I'm saying? And it doesn't work if you keep yourself in the best attractive state possible. You're working out, you're taking care of yourself, you're making sure your money's good, you're making sure that you're a catch. You see what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of women who may not sleep with you because she wants to sleep with you, right? And it's a little dark here, but she may sleep with you because she doesn't want other women to sleep with you. You feel what I'm saying? She knows that if I don't satisfy him, he's gonna go out here, and because he's a catch, and he's willing to leave me. You understand? That if another woman sees like, oh, she's not doing this for you, she's not cooking for you, she's not cleaning for you, she's not sucking you when you want you, sheesh, I'll do it, right? That's a recipe for disaster for a person, for a woman who is trying to control the relationship by not giving you something that you could easily get somewhere else. All right. So again, the best way that you counteract that, just make sure you're in the best shape possible. Make sure you're still being a good person, a good man. Of course, have your money together. and just be a man with a plan. You know, just having those 4 things, those 4 or 5 things, is going to make you attractive in the dating market, no matter what age you are. Okay. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know. Again, her channel is going to be in the description. I highly suggest, this is more mainly for my older guys, but I highly suggest that you check out her channel. She has a lot of gold, and I put you guys on. If you guys go over there, let her know I sent you. All right. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.